Hey guys, Jonathan Rice here, licensed CPA in the state of Louisiana, and today we're going to be talking about some alternatives to QuickBooks Online. I've got my top 5 alternatives that I've picked based off my experience interacting with them. That doesn't mean that they're the end-all be-all, but just some of the ones I've come across over the years that I found to be either user-friendly or really intuitive, great reporting, great dashboards, or certain pros and cons that I thought were noteworthy. So these are basically just things that you can use in lieu of QuickBooks. There's nothing wrong with using QuickBooks, but if you're looking for something different, maybe you aren't happy with Intuit's customer service, I urge you to give some of these a try. So first and foremost, we have Puzzle. Puzzle's the relatively new kid on the block. I've got a demo logged in here. We won't be as blessed with some of the other accounting softwares just because I don't have demos set up for them. But Puzzle is really heavily focused on AI. So they want to automate away as much as they can. A lot of the accounting softwares do have AI now, but Puzzle really was created with AI as its main driver. It's the engine in the car that makes it go. And they've done a really good job of seamlessly integrating it with suggestions, automatic categorization of expenses or revenues, things like that. Some of the other things that I've really enjoyed about Puzzle are the intuitive dashboards. This is right here on the home screen. I've covered it in a couple other videos, but it's just really easy to take a glance and look at the overall health of your business. It's pretty refreshing. Whenever I'm on QuickBooks' home dashboard, I don't really pay attention to those reports, but these catch your eye. They tell you what you need to know, and that's really refreshing. So who is Puzzle for? Puzzle is for, in my opinion, business owners who want to scale their business quickly, founders, executives, CEOs, people who need to make decisions based off information quickly. Puzzle stays relatively up to date with its integrations, and you can make important business decisions without having to wait for month-end close to get the information necessary to run your business. Its price is pretty competitive. It does have a free tier. As soon as your expenses exceed $5,000 a month, you will get bumped to a paid tier of about $25 to $30, and then it can go up to $300 a month for larger enterprises, and they have several options in between. So it's pretty versatile. I've really enjoyed interacting with it. I definitely think it's a viable contender for QuickBooks, just based on the type of business that you're running. So the next guy that we're going to jump to is going to actually be Xero. Xero accounting software has been around since the early 2000s. It's got a pretty sizable foothold in the accounting market for software, not nearly as large as QuickBooks, but it is still one of the larger and more prevalent accounting platforms out there. So some of the key features of Xero is the integrations that you can do with the platform. So hundreds of integrations with payment process providers like Stripe, Shopify, HubSpot. You can access third-party banks via Plaid. It's really ideal for businesses that rely heavily on these third-party tools. And with that, it makes doing bank reconciliations a breeze whenever you're doing month-end close because you're already linked to all of your accounts. Some other things that Xero really excels in is inventory management. And this is something that I have just absolutely adored, is that Xero, in compared to QuickBooks, they're not even playing the same game. A lot of times if I have clients that are using QuickBooks, they have to basically go and use their point of sale system in lieu of their accounting platform because QuickBooks just really isn't set up for that type of granular detail. Like if you have hundreds of items of inventory on your shelves at your small indie business music store, QuickBooks just really isn't very good at tracking that. You can have your inventory balance be misstated relatively easily if you're not updating it every month. And I just don't feel like that happens with Xero as often. And so that's really something refreshing. The other thing is you can get pretty detailed financial reports. You can customize those reports. Most of these accounting softwares are going to be able to generate most of the reports that you need, but I do feel like Xero's customizable dashboard just takes it a little bit further, and overall that's one of the key reasons that I've included it in this list. So what's it going to cost to run Xero? Pricing starts at around $20 per month for some basic introductory level features, and then you can start scaling upwards to $80 or more per month, depending on if you want things like multi-currency support, payroll, or any type of advanced analytics. So overall, a very fair platform. I would say it can go toe-to-toe with QuickBooks on most things. It's just that inventory management software is definitely going to help set it over the top. The next one I want to talk about is FreshBooks. FreshBooks is really geared towards like freelance, small business owners, things like that. People who don't need something as robust as QuickBooks. Now, just because I say it's not as robust as QuickBooks doesn't mean that it doesn't have a host of features. So FreshBooks really strives to streamline time tracking and project management. You can definitely do that within QuickBooks, but I feel like it falls a little flat. It's a little clunky, especially if you're doing things like construction projects, that type of project management. It's just not as rich as it could be. And FreshBooks helps mitigate that. It's really geared towards freelancers or people who offer their time as a service. With that, it makes invoicing very intuitive. If I'm a photographer and I work 8 hours at a wedding, I can enter that for Cameron and Clyde's wedding, 8 hours, and then FreshBooks will help me generate that invoice, put it to 2 hours of editing, 2 hours of photography, and 4 hours of travel time, or however it needs to be broken up based on that project. There's also client collaboration portals, which makes it really attractive for freelancers and solo entrepreneurs. And then the other thing is, it's just easy to use. It's user-friendly. It's got an intuitive dashboard. And that makes it really attractive for small business owners who are maybe just doing something on the side and need a clean set of professional-looking books. So what is it going to cost? Very cheap, in line with someone who's just doing something on the side. It can be as cheap as about $10 a month. But if you do find yourself scaling, maybe you get a couple of employees, you're looking around $30 to $55 a month. Still, compared to QuickBooks, relatively cheap. So the next one I want to jump to is Wave. So I love talking about Wave. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I just think it's really neat that they offer a freemium plan. In a world where everything costs money, Wave says, we'll get you the bare bones. You don't have to pay us. Just take it for a ride. Give it a shot. And I just think that's really neat. It's really refreshing. And for something that doesn't cost any money, it'll get the job done. You can send basic invoices and bills, track basic expenses. You can do bank reconciliations pretty easily. May not be as automated because once again, you're not paying for the software. And then it's just user friendly. It gives a clear snapshot of how your business is performing. And it's free. Like that's my favorite thing. I'm an accountant. I'm a penny pincher. I'm a cheapskate. So whenever I hear that something is free, I just flock towards it. So what does it cost if you're gonna pay for it? So there are some options with Wave that are the premium options. You can get some relatively introductory items for around $20. And then it goes up from there with $35 if you're doing state-specific things like sales tax. It can go as high as like $50 or $60 if you're going to start running payroll out of it. So you have options there. I just love to throw Wave in because in a world where everything costs money, it's just a little different. It makes it fun to talk about. The final one that I want to talk about is Zoho. So Zoho is really robust and it's good for like mid-sized businesses, mid-sized enterprises. And the reason I say that is Zoho is not just an accounting software. It's an ERP, enterprise resource planning tool. You can do customer resource management, you can send emails, have a client portal set up. It basically has an ecosystem built around it. And so that makes it really versatile. And with that versatility comes robust customization. So you can do just about anything that you might need to out of this one software. You can do estimates, financial reports, send invoices. You can tailor features to match workflows for things that are going on in your business or businesses. And with that, it's relatively intuitive. It's not as clean as like Puzzle per se, but you can customize the reports based off what you need to see and what's going on in your business. Like FreshBooks, you can also manage projects and implement pretty accurate timekeeping, something that once again I feel like QuickBooks really doesn't do a wonderful job on. It can do it, it's clunky, as I mentioned earlier. Zoho is a little bit better and more refined in my opinion. And then you can customize any reports that you may need, which is something that QuickBooks has a lot of standard reports, but if you need certain columns, certain data, certain sheets, Zoho is going to allow you to do that. But the big thing, the big picture with Zoho is that it plays well with all the other different parts of your businesses. If you are like a mid-sized enterprise, a couple $1 million per year, or low $100 million per year, $50 million per year business, Zoho is something that I would consider over using QuickBooks just because of its scalability and its ability to play well with other softwares in the space. So what is it going to cost? If you're just by yourself, you're a solo entrepreneur, you're looking at about $15 per month. Higher tier plans can be up to $60. And then their enterprise plans, you're going to want to consult with one of their sales reps. If you're going to start running payroll or plug and playing with other softwares within their ecosystem, the price goes up from there. Which is a fair comparison to QuickBooks, because for some of my clients who have maybe 30 or 40 employees, QuickBooks, if you're running payroll out of it, can be $500 per month. So it sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. So how do you know which one of these is best for you? You just have to say, what kind of business am I going to be? Am I going to be one that scales and grows quickly? Okay, maybe I should check out Puzzle. Am I going to be someone who just wants to kind of do this on the side, get my feet wet, check it out, see if I'm into this side hustle and making a little extra money for my day job? Give Wave a shot. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no risk. Am I a conglomerate? Am I hiring people I just can't keep up? Go check out Zoho. It really just depends on where you are and where you think you'll be. Don't feel like that you're married to QuickBooks because it's the only accounting software that has that brand recognition. There are tons of other accounting platforms, even not mentioned in this list. For instance, like Sage Intacct, if you're in construction, that's a big one. Like, don't feel like you're obligated to use QuickBooks just because it's got that iconic green and black and white logo. Intuit has done an excellent job with marketing. They've done a very, very good job on their software, but that doesn't mean it's the only option out there. So even though it's a dominant player in the accounting space, consider what type of business you are, where you're going to be, and what's going to best fit your needs in order to pick your accounting software.